Hey everyone, welcome out to this video, which is interesting because I typically don't do videos where I just like talk into a camera and I just like sit and talk to you guys. You know, it's always like a collaborative content of some kind, some other person being here, or it's gameplay focused, but like it's never just us. So I figured with the start of 2022, Happy New Year's, everyone, that I would just kind of like give a little recap update, I guess. I don't know. 2021 was a year. It was a year that existed. I don't even really remember the start of 2021. I have no memory of New Year's Day. All I remember was New Year's Eve. Dylan and Lex were still quarantining and stuff like that because of, you know, Lex being pregnant with Brenna. And so I just remember it was like me, Rich, Taylor, Scott, Brooks, Tobin, all at our house, and we didn't have cable. So we watched the Spanish version of the ball drop because that was the only thing that we could find. And Brooks dressed up like Pitbull. And that was how we rang in 2021. So it was a weird start. And I don't know. I think this year's just been a lot of me finding myself personally. And not to say that like it was ever lost, but like there were just a lot of things that, you know, happened this year. You know, we started this year with the Pokemon X and Y Shiny Lock. Then we had the Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Soul Link with Tobin, where we had Foxyon and Tantrum that were in the game. And then over the summer when we went and visited his family, I did a lot of different, you know, like one-off videos. We did like the Karen simulator. I drew some Pokemon from memory. Those were interesting creatures, weren't they? Definitely experimented with different kinds of content, seeing what you guys really gravitated towards, the things that you guys like would never want me to ever touch again. This year was definitely the year of the Then We Fight videos. Absolutely. I think the really cool thing with Then We Fights is that it's always something different every single time, and it doesn't matter who you do it with. There's always going to be some kind of interesting element. People's humor is going to be different. Teams are different. Games are different. Like, there's so many different strategies. Like, it's a way of doing content that's Pokemon that always allows for some kind of variety, so things never go stale and things are never necessarily the same. I think the start of Then We Fight is a really, really cool concept that's happening in the Pokemon community right now. And I definitely can't wait to continue to do those more in the future. Then we did the Pokemon X and Y Egg Lock. You guys loved that. Definitely want to bring back more Egg Locks in the future. The one thing I really want to do, and I'll get more into this towards the end of the video of like content that I want to try to do, but I really want to try to bring back an egg lock. The one series I would love to do is a Pokemon Sword and Shield egg lock. I feel like that would be really, really cool. We'll just have to get the semantics figured out as to how to make that work 100%. But now that life is starting to calm down a little bit more, that's definitely something I want to do, is reach out to the people who know how to do all the shenanigans and see if that's something that we would be able to get done. So super exciting. And then we wrap the year out with the Pokemon Coliseum Soul Link that I'm currently doing with Vandy. This year was just a lot. It was very, very, I don't want to say draining. I mean, it was, but like I really, really pushed myself a lot more this year than I had the year before. I moved stores in my like actual retail job 3 different times. So started off at one store. They transferred me to another store because they wanted me to help train, and like, because at the time I was a manager, they're like, we need your kind of happy, bubbly personality. So went over there, did that for about 3 months, and then I got transferred to the store that I am at now. A lot closer to the house, a lot more convenient. But still, I went to California this year, had never been, so definitely experienced more of the West Coast before. My friend from Germany came down over the summer, hadn't seen her in about 2 years, probably. She was my best friend in college, and she's still definitely my ride or die best friend. Hoping to be able to travel out to Europe to see her. But she came down. We got partnered by G Fuel this year, which is absolutely insane. We had never been sponsored or partnered by anyone ever. So the fact that I was reached out to by my G Fuel manager, and that they saw something in the channel, saw something in me, was really, really cool. You know, I never go into content creation expecting these things. It's never like a sit down, let me do the right things, say the right things, you know, put myself in the shoes of every other PokeTuber that's out here to try and fit the mold. You know what I mean? I just wanted to create a channel that was different. And so considering the fact that, like, in my eyes, I'm still the very small content creator who started doing this for fun 2 years ago, and to have a company as big as G Fuel say that they not only believe in me, but believe in the community and the mission that, like, we have on the channel is really, really big, you know? And so that was a really big honor. And there's a lot that's still coming with that. So really, really excited for that. We had our first convention back at AWA. Dylan had his panel. We actually got to meet people again, which was absolutely amazing. We often refer to the friend group that I'm in with all of my mods and just like a lot of closer friends as the Backyardigans. Got to hang out with them, meet a few of them that I haven't met before. And it was really, really cool. This year, we also were able to raise a lot of money for charity, which is absolutely insane. It's absolutely amazing. And it's probably one of the proudest things that I feel like I've done. As you guys may or may not know, if you guys are new to the channel. So background about me, I'm a social work, mental health counseling background. I never got a chance to finish my degree because I was in the process of moving to Georgia right when COVID hit. And I didn't want to take online classes. And it just kind of hasn't been right place, right time for me to go back and just get the document signed that basically says, hi, you've completed your degree. Boop. And because I couldn't go back to school, I really wanted to be able to bring that like mental health focus to a channel, and, you know, create a place of inclusivity and acceptance and advocation. So basically no one ever has to feel like they're alone, and to just create, like, I just want people to feel cozy. I feel like is what it really comes down to. Like, you know, I want to create a community that is just full of acceptance and love and just being there for each other. And you don't have to worry about your religion, your gender, your sexuality, your mental health, your family life, your friendships, the drama. Like, none of that matters. And regardless of whatever your life and situations are in any of those categories, you know that you're going to be supported and have a group of people that are going to have your back. That's really what I want at the end of the day. And so I got the opportunity to do 2 different charity streams this year. One was a part of the last project, which is a project that happens every single year. I believe it happens in March or April. It's coming up soon again, but it's for International Women's Month. And so a whole bunch of us female content creators get together on Twitch, actually, and it's a giant marathon stream. And so I'll have a time segment, and then I raid the next female. She goes on for her time, and it's just a constant raid train. And we all do typically Pokemon content of some way, shape, or form. But the whole point of it is it's a giant marathon stream to raise money for a certain cause. And last year we did it for Stop AAPI Hate, and us together as an entire Lost project were able to raise $30,588 for Stop AAPI Hate, which is absolutely amazing. Right before the year actually ended this year, I was reached out to by a wonderful gal who works for United Way, said, hey, I see the mission of your channel. We're actually doing a fundraiser right now for mental health advocacy, getting education in schools, especially following COVID-19, making sure the people who, you know, may not understand what mental health is, what the correct coping strategies are, especially in schools. How do you deal with mental health in a school setting? How do you make sure that like people get the care that they need? And so every $1,000 that we raised would go towards providing an entire curriculum and assets and tools and education into an entire school. And we just in one live stream, just with the Flu fam, and we brought over Dylan, Lex, Frank, Ryan, Carthu, Shan, everyone in Georgia came over. And all of us together in the Georgia group were able to raise in one live stream $2,178. So we were able to bring, just in one live stream, education and all of that for mental health to 2 different entire schools, which is massive, the impact that we are able to have in just 4 hours of live streaming. If you think about the amount of people who just go to one school, that is impacting the lives of so many. And even like teachers, because they're gonna take the education that they learned and be able to pass that on and continue doing that. So not only the kids that are currently going to that school right now are getting the help, but all of the kids that are soon to come. And you know, once you have that knowledge, you can expand. Like, we touch the lives of so many people just from that one live stream. And that's something that is super, super, super cool to see. And so I guess that really ties into the fact that I really wanted to focus on really establishing the channel this year. Because obviously, like I said before, I kind of still view myself as, and it's to my own deficit, I feel like. I still see myself as, like I said, the small channel that just started out 2.5 years ago. This will be about 3 years of me doing content here next month. And so I just really wanted to establish what Lynn's or like Lynn's Vids is, from a branding perspective to live stream perspectives. Because living in Georgia is a very, very wonderful thing, and it's a very supportive group of people. But I feel like the standards for content are very, very high. And I myself very much suffer from imposter syndrome and constantly feeling like I'm not good enough. You know, like if I belong where I am. And obviously, like, I have no reason to ever doubt any of these things because all of my friends are incredibly supportive. But it really just comes from a place of my own insecurities, because I'm very, very aware, because I work as much as I do at a retail job, because I don't make enough on YouTube for it to be a full-time thing for me, that there are people who can work day in and day out pushing out content nonstop. So the time that I'm doing, making sure someone doesn't need a size medium in a dress instead of a size small, they're being able to push out like 3 videos a day. So it's a very, very... It's nice because it pushes me to constantly do better, be better, you know, make sure that when I push out content, it's the best that it can be. But I constantly am like, oh my gosh, I'm constantly behind. So that's why I really focused on like making sure, just asset wise for the channel this year, that we kind of have it as strong as it can be. So we actually got our own custom chat box this year. We have branding. We have a new like stream starting soon screen. I'm in the process of getting custom animations done. I've always had a really big focus on emotes. There's a lot of really cool stuff that kind of happened this year with just, like I said, branding itself. So I feel like at least the image of Lynn's Vids is very established, to where like you see Foxyon, you see the aesthetic, you see whatever, you immediately think of Lynn's. With that being like the countdown music that Glitch X City made, she's absolutely amazing. Like the amount of times where people are like, oh, whenever I hear Route 19 music from Pokemon Black and White, like I think of Lynn's, which is ironic because if you're around the channel enough, you know that Black and White and Gen 5 is not my favorite gen in the slightest, but very ironic that Route 19 ended up being the the intro music for the channel. But yeah, to that point, my retail job had always been, in my mind, like my full-time job, and then YouTube was always just like a lifestyle to go alongside with that. And that was definitely a blessing and a curse. Because part of me feels like I'm never going to be able to get to where I want to be if I don't really push myself and allow YouTube to actually be my full-time job, if that kind of makes sense. And so it's really hard finding that balance between making sure that I take personal days to make sure that like I'm not overworking myself, because I have this really bad habit of going to work at 10, getting off at 6, taking 30 minutes to feed myself, going live, not finishing till 10, and then recording Soul Link at 11, That finishes at midnight. Taking personal time for like an hour to make sure that I exist as a human being, going to bed, wash, rinse, and repeating. So I feel like I'm constantly working, but, you know, just taking the time and being like, okay, so this is how we have to do it in order to make sure that I'm still allowing myself to have personal time, but I'm also just like, not working either, you know? I would love to do content creation full time like everyone else that's basically here in Georgia, to be able to push out videos for like 80,000 seconds a day, constantly doing collaborations, constantly doing whatever. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be more of an opportunity this year. I actually did take a demotion, for those of you who don't know. Obviously, holiday time was a little hard and rough to get through. Obviously, everyone's getting sick, you know, working close to Christmas time, it's kind of all hands on deck. So many people need to be staffed in order to deal with the amount of people that are coming in, the amount of product that needs to be pushed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But with me taking a demotion and no longer being a manager, I'm really hoping that I can like take that time to focus on YouTube and whatever for those days that I actually have off now that I wouldn't have had previously had I not taken the demotion. So for 2022, things that I definitely want to continue to do is this is gonna be either pleasant for some of you or you guys are gonna roll your eyes, depending on what side of the spectrum you are on. For some of my days off, I do want to go back to Twitch. And the reason for that is YouTube only allows you to have a certain amount of alerts every single day. So if I upload Soul Link and I do a live stream on YouTube, that only gives me the opportunity to do one other thing within 24 hours. Otherwise, you guys just don't get a notification for it. However, if I were to do it on Twitch, not only is that technically another source of income that would allow me to be able to attempt to do content creation full time, because it's separate from YouTube, payouts happen at different times, whatever. And it's an entirely different audience. Before anyone panics, basically what I would want to be doing on Twitch is bringing back some of the speed runs that I was doing earlier this year. I did do speed running for a brief period of time. I learned a lot about Pokemon X and Y. That's definitely something I want to bring back. It was really, really fun. Those streams end up being about 3 hours anyway, so it's a really good chance to do like a just chatting stream, just being able to like genuinely sit and talk to you guys. Plus, speedrunning is just something that's totally different, entirely different community. And not to say that it would be like a full-time, like, oh my gosh, every 2 days I'm speedrunning, but definitely something I would want to at least try again because it was really, really fun. And it's an entirely different community of content creators too that support you. So being able to be closer to a whole bunch of new people would be really fun. I would debate doing like morning shiny hunting streams. Again, just a chance to like just talk. It allowed me to actually get more shinies because I have like none in the game. As you guys know, we're still over 1,000 encounters for Baneri. Still don't have a Baneri. I'm fine. The world is burning. I might do some Pokemon Unite up there, just for when like the season resets and like when we're like grinding to masters, stuff like that. So it'd be a lot of one-off, like very niche kind of community Pokemon content. And then on YouTube would basically be where all the Let's Plays, all the Nuzlocks, all the collaborative content, all the stuff that you guys already know and love are, which would allow YouTube to push those kind of things more because it's not getting bogged down algorithmic wise by speed runs and then shiny hunting and then whatever. Because the thing about the YouTube algorithm is it finds what it likes and it likes what you do, but the more different things you kind of keep throwing into the mix, it doesn't know what to push. So if I can kind of put one off, just kind of the weird random stuff over on Twitch, and then keep the stuff that you guys literally already subscribed for over here on YouTube, then that's what I'll do. So doing that, we're also going to start getting into more giveaways. Details for that should be coming very, very soon, but that's something that's very exciting that I'm very much looking forward to, being able to give back to you guys the way that you guys give back to me. But so giveaways are going to keep happening. Then we fights. Like I said, lots of good content. I want to do an egg lock. I want to get more. It seems like you guys really enjoy Let's Play content. Even if it's solo and me just talking into a camera, which is honestly it's a blessing and a curse because I'm very self-conscious about my solo content because I feel like I'm just talking in circles and that it's just nonsense 90% of the time because I'm so used to collaborative content of bouncing off another person. And like, if I don't know what to say, there's someone there to fill the gaps. But you guys have shown like insane support for like any solo content that I ever do. So even though I'm always constantly in my head, like, is this good enough? Is this whatever? I know that you guys enjoy it, so definitely want to start doing that more with my free time. But yeah, if you guys definitely have any ideas of stuff you guys would want to see this year, definitely let me know. Because like I said, this year, now that I have the demotion, now that I have the time and the energy and the days off that I can give back into you guys, I definitely want to make sure that I take that opportunity. So trying to make the most of 2022 and just really continue to make myself different. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when you're constantly in a pool of Pokemon content creators that are all trying to do the same thing at the same time, like, how do you stand out and how do you make yourself different? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to make them watch you over the 60 other people who are all shiny hunting right now? You know what I mean? But I did just want to say, like, thank you guys for constantly being patient with me, first of all, because I understand that, like, I'm not consistent with content in the way that I wish I was and could be, because I'm either getting, like, called into work, or I'm, dealing with holiday time, or by the time I get home from work, I'm just so, like, literally exhausted that, like, there's no way in heck I'm going live. So I apologize that I'm not more consistent with everything. Like I said, with me taking the demotion this year, hopefully that'll help with like the burnout happening. So then that way I can put out content more consistently. And just for like supporting me the way that you guys do. Like, I don't feel like, and I feel like every content creator says this, but like, I feel like the community that we have here is very, very special. And that it's very much unlike a lot of other communities that you would see on YouTube. And I feel like you can genuinely get that kind of vibe the minute you hop into a live stream, and just the way that, like, not only me, because obviously I try to make everyone feel loved and accepted and, supported, but the channel would not be what it is today without every single one of you guys, like, taking the principles of acceptance and love and, like, basically feeling like a giant group hug whenever you come into the streams, without every single one of you guys in chat, following suit. So this channel would not be what it is today without you guys. I would not be where I am today without you guys. Like I said, I started YouTube for fun, just to like see what would happen. And if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be sitting in a corner of my room, writing a little thank you memoir to you guys for just the insane amount of support that we've had, I wouldn't believe you. So, but yeah, 2022 is going to be great. I'm going to move in with my brother. We'll have the channel anniversary sleep block next month. We might do a sleep block right before I move, just as like a surprise we're moving sleep block. And then depending on if I end up doing that one or not, we'll see what happens with my birthday. But lots of really exciting stuff. And just thank you guys for supporting me the way that you do. And I can't wait to see what this year has to come. So it's going to be exciting. And just thank you guys once again for all the support. Happy New Year!